And I know that this is the weirdest time ever to be, okay, perfect. I know this is the weirdest time ever to be doing a call like such at this time, but I really appreciate y'all making the time to hear it. And then this is being recorded and it'll be sent and posted. So as you need to like come back, you will probably need to come back and watch this again. And that's no big deal, or come back and watch certain parts at least. And you are able to do that. Okay, sharing my screen. So 80-day program. Here we go. Let's just go ahead and move through it. First of all, this is our agenda. We're going to cover workouts. We're going to cover, let me make sure everybody's muted here. We're going to cover, I think it's video. Okay, accountability. We're going to cover personal development and what that is going to look like. Before we jump in, let's talk about where your mindset needs to be right now going into this program, okay? I need you to be relaxed, not intense. I know that I can tend to be more of like an intense person and give that vibe off, but at the end of the day, it is going to be way easier for you to add habits in than to take habits out. And this is going to be a process, right? So we are going to work on one thing at a time. Of course, I want everybody to like jump in full force, but we are all starting at different places, okay? And I need us to be relaxed, have grace for ourselves, and to go in that we are going to do this 100% and give it our all, but also with like a heart of being like, okay, this is a lifestyle. Yes, it's an 80-day program, but this is long term. And knowing that this is a journey and to enjoy the journey. There's going to be a lot of difficult seasons, a lot of early mornings. You're going to be tired. You're not going to want to pack your meals the night before, but each single thing that you do is a journey, okay? It's a process. And honestly, until you learn to enjoy the journey and enjoy the struggle, as I like to say, and enjoy the hardships, it's not gonna be long term. That's definitely something that you're gonna have to learn to love. You're not gonna get overwhelmed. We have an entire week that's gonna be our practice week, and that's why we have that. So there can be mess ups and whoopsies, and you're gonna figure out what works best for you. And then once that week is over, you're gonna go for 100%. And also know that there is a time commitment on the front end. And when I say that, I mean in preparing for the program. This call is a time commitment. Maybe having to go through this call again is a time commitment. Maybe possibly having to read through things multiple times over and over again is a time commitment. But guess what? It's so worth it, because when you hit day 3 of this program, I think it's day 3 personally, day 3 or 4, you are going to get it. You're going to be moving and grooving. It's going to be a second language for you, and you're not going to need any of your notes again. It's really cool how it works. So first of all, we have a virtual wellness studio. It's what everybody has been added into in the Facebook group. It's our home base, okay? If you have questions, definitely tag me. If it needs my attention, I need you to tag me, because I can get lost in Facebook notifications very easily. But if you tag me, I can find it. Just know that people are doing all sorts of different kinds of programs, eating different ways. It's just a place of accountability, personal development, and community. So people may be posting their meals and you're like, wait, I don't get to eat that. Here's the thing. I just had this conversation with somebody in email today. The only person you need to be comparing yourself to is you yesterday. And if someone's not eating perfectly on their plan, guess what? You're going to have better results than they are. So don't be looking at what other people are eating. We're posting for encouragement. There's a ton of resources and plans and documents and encouraging videos. I'm actually going to go live there later tonight. If you go to the virtual wellness studio, on the side, there's something that says files. I've actually written a ton of personal development that I used to incorporate in my program daily, and that's there for you. I think there's like 36 or something in there that I think are really good. So you're welcome to dive into those. I think that they are really beneficial. Okay, accountability. Let's talk about what that is going to look like. So that's what the virtual wellness studio is for. That is where we are posting our meals, our post-workout selfies. That's where we are posting our Shakeology. That's where we're posting our early mornings. You'll see that I'm going to be posting early and being like, hey, who's up? And I want to see who is up. I want you guys to do a little emoji hand raise. Meals are really hard for me to get creative, so that's an awesome place to help other people get creative. I know that it feels like, okay, posting this, when you're posting in there, yes, it's accountability for you, but also it's helpful for so many other people. So I love it when people have a heart to serve and a heart to love on others in the program or doing a program. So if you have an awesome recipe that you're like, man, this is good and it's creative, please share it for me. Like, if anybody, please do it for me, because that is really hard for me. Shakeology, we're going to go into Shakeology in a minute, but post your recipes that you have found that you love, because here's the thing about Shakeology. I've learned that everybody has a very specific taste that they like. What that means is I love vegan chocolate and frozen cherries. I love it. It's like my perfect combination. Other girls have tried it and they hate it. I don't personally love vanilla Shakeology, but there are girls that like can't live without it. So it's going to be a lot of like, okay, do I like this? Do I like it like this? Do I want more of this in there? Do I want more of that in there? It's going to be trial and error. And so post that, because that's helpful for a lot of people. This is so important, okay? Take your measurements and take your before pics. Every single person that doesn't do this, at the end, they are so mad at themselves for not doing it. And I know it's like the worst thing ever. You're not going to want to do it, but guess what? These pictures are for you and for you only. There's actually a way that you can have a secret album in your phone. I don't know if you know that. So like if someone opens your phone, they're not going to see like your progress pictures, so that's super weird. But I've been taking progress pictures for years, and I just take them and I add them to that album, the secret album. And pretty much every Sunday I take a picture, and it's really just for me, just to see where I'm at, how I'm doing. I do weigh myself. I used to not weigh myself, and now I'm doing 2B, which that's a different story. But really, I can see where I'm at when I look at pictures. I can see where I'm at in my clothes, and also even in my face. You get to a point where you really learn your body. So please, please, please take this before pictures and measurements, because remember, sometimes the scale doesn't budge, but your body composition will be changing in 80-day obsession. If you were on the prep call or the Live Fully call, you probably saw that girl who had only lost 4 pounds but lost like 29 inches, which is insane. Okay, workouts. I'm going to show you how to access everything, okay? So I'm going to share my screen to Beachbody On Demand. So just so you know, teambeachbody.com. That's kind of where you access Shakeology. By the way, make sure you're posting questions in the chat box as you have them. That's where you access like your Shakeology order. That's where you access different things that you may want to purchase, your account in general. That's that. Beachbody On Demand is a totally different website. I'm not even logged in. And so I'm going to show you how you access your workout right here. So these are the two I've been bouncing back and forth, T25 and 80-day obsession. There's a little obsessed right here, and that's what's going to be our practice week, okay? That's what it's a 5-day workout. It's the same exact meal plans. They're only 30-minute workouts, but it's an awesome way to get acclimated with the meal plan, and also to kind of get a hint of the moves, of the workout moves. So for example, you click a little obsessed right here, you open it up, and here are the workouts. If you want to get some details, you can click that and you can see what is required right there.
Can I have this back? Can I have back?
Hey guys, make sure that you are muted, okay? Let me make sure I just mute everybody real quick. Okay. Back to Beachbody On Demand. So 80-day obsession is right here. By the way, if you've never seen Beachbody On Demand, I highly recommend you log in and you just play on it. Look, there are so many workouts. Like you could come here and look at cardio, low impact, muscle building, slim and tone. If you are on a time crunch, like after 80-day obsession, it is an incredible resource to have. As I said, I love incorporating a tons of different things. I don't think that there is an end-all be-all when it comes to workouts, but to have access to Beachbody On Demand as a tool is such a treasure for me, because let me tell you, it is not every day I can get it to the gym. It is not every day I can spend an hour on a workout. Sometimes I just need a 20-minute little fix, and I don't want to think about it, right? It's proven that if you have to actually think through things, you're not going to do it. So for me to be able to walk to a computer, choose something, hit play, and do it without thinking about it, it makes my life so much easier. So 80 Day Obsession is right here. And here is where all the workouts are. So there's a phase 1, 2, and 3. And all you're going to do is click on it and press play to start. So that's kind of how you access it. And then in a minute, I am going to show you how to access the meal plan. So I'm going to do a new share and go back to my, oh, there we go. Okay, awesome. So that's how you access the workouts. Now, there is something called the BOD app, Beachbody On Demand. So there's a little picture of what it looks like. If you don't have equipment, you have no intention of buying it, it's not something you're interested in, maybe you do have a gym membership, but you just go and you hit the elliptical for 30 minutes. That is not going to cut it for you. I love cardio, but to just be on cardio all the time, it's just not going to change your body. The only thing that's truly going to change the shape of your body and your body composition, I believe, is weightlifting, HIIT training, high intensity interval types of things. That's going to change your body. So maybe you need that. You want to do 80 Day Obsession workouts, but you just enjoy going to the gym. Hello, me, I love to go to the gym, but a lot of people don't. And so I like to have options for people who are intimidated by it, right? But BOD is a great option to download on your phone so that you can bring it to the gym. There have been multiple times that I put BOD on my phone, I put my wireless headphones in, and I'd listen to them talk and do the workout as they are speaking. Something I have a hard time with is slowing down. I want to get through the reps quickly. And so when I'm able to listen to them, count through, and cue things, it's really helpful for me. A lot of my clients, they go into the little aerobic room, they get their weight set up, they set their phone up against the wall, and they just crush their workouts in their own little space in the gym. So that's totally up to you, but BOD is a great option to have on your phone. Okay, this is a kind of an example of what a 80 Day Obsession phase 1 calendar looks like. So for the entire first phase, you are going to be doing the same order of workouts each day of the week. Now, as you may see, the first week is 2 sets of 15 reps of each exercise, and then the next week is going to be 3 sets of 10 reps. So what does that mean? That means when you're doing 15 reps, you're going to need a medium-sized weight, right? Your 15 reps is a lot. When I was only doing the gym, I was pretty much only doing 8 reps, okay? 15 is a lot, so you're going to need a little bit of a lower weight. Now, 3 sets of 10, that's when you need to push yourself and go a little bit heavier. And Autumn talks through all of this when she is training you. She talks through the weights that you need to be having. So there's different workouts each day, and then the next phase, they're all going to be swished around. So you might do booty on Monday and cardio core on Saturday. It's just different. And then same with the third phase. This is just an example of something that I like to show people. And this is a very quick overview as you are going to get into this, like I said, in the first week, and it's going to be oh, got it. It's going to click for you. So the equipment that you are going to need, you're going to need 3 sets of weights. And I know that is kind of oh, I don't want to go buy this. But guys, I just want to remind you that this, like I said, is a long-term journey. And I do think it's important to have equipment just available for you to do something quickly if you need to. Start with low weights if you need to. Again, we all are starting in a different place. I started with 5, 10s, and 15s. And then as I continued through 80 Day Obsession, I went and got some more. Sometimes I just bought an extra case of water and used that as a weight. There are so many things that you can use that are really amazing and will be helpful for you. They usually run around $1 a pound, but go to Goodwill. They don't have to be beautiful matching weights, right? We're just here to get the job done. Doesn't need to be Instagram worthy, if you know what I mean. Like I said, You may see that you need to go up as you are continuing to program, but just know that it is an investment, right? It's an investment in your health, just like this program is, just like Shakeology is an investment, just like weights will be an investment. You're going to need bands and sliders, which that's coming with your program, which is awesome. Modifications. Okay, so I know, like I said, we are all starting at different levels, and that is something that needs to be known. Don't be hard on yourself if you get in a workout and you're like, I can only do 5 reps. Guess what? That is totally fine. There is a pause button on the video if you need it. Maybe just do 5 reps, and then the next week, maybe try 6 reps. Maybe if she's having you hold a plank for 45 seconds, if you can't do it, hold it for 30 seconds, get on your knees, catch your breath, and then get right back up. There is a 40% rule that I like to share with people, and I heard this a long time ago, and it has stuck with me ever since. Gosh, no, I haven't told this in a while, so I need to remember it. Basically, there was a Navy SEAL guy who was training this runner, and he was doing ultra marathons. It was a big documentary. It was an article that I was reading, and he trained this runner to learn the 40% rule, which is basically your body, when you feel like you can't go anymore, when you just feel dead and done and exhausted, you really have only used 40% of what you're capable of. Your body can push yourself way more than you even know. Your mind stops you, and your mind stops you at what you're usually used to doing. So for example, I have always been used to doing 8 to 10 reps, 8 to 10 reps, 8 to 10 reps in everything that I did. And so when I started doing 80-day obsession, I was doing the 2 by 15 reps, okay? And I would get to 8 reps, and mentally I got tired. I can do, 6 or 7 more reps, no problem. But I've been so used and trained myself to doing 8 to 10 reps that mentally I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. When really that was just my brain stopping me. So I believe that we all need to be modifying and being careful, but I also think there's a balance there, right? To where we are actually pushing ourselves so that we can see results. So just keep that in mind. This runner, it was an ultra marathon, so you ran big laps, and he had a cooler, and on his cooler it said 40% rule all over it. And I think that was something that he was always telling himself, and something I tell myself a lot, hey, I've only gotten 40% maybe of what I'm actually capable of doing. I need to push myself. So you are going to have to learn that line for yourself, but I know that you can do it. So what if you're adding your own workout? So let's say you do Orange Theory 2 days a week. Let's say you do CrossFit. That's awesome. Again, what's most important to me is that you're doing what makes you happy. I really feel for me to do 80-day obsession all the way through, it totally changed my body. Really believe that wholeheartedly. I think that that's the best way to do this. But again, your happiness is the most important to me. So if you were to do Orange Theory on a Monday, on Tuesday, you'll do day 1 of 80-day obsession. On Wednesday, you'll do day 2 of 80-day obsession. Let's say on Thursday, you do Orange Theory. And then on Friday, you'll just start back again on day 3 of 80-day obsession. So don't skip days. But the only time that you kind of need to start back over, and not to the beginning, but over to the beginning of each phase, is if you have to take a week off, a full 7 days off. So let's say I'm in phase 2, week 3, and I got sick, and I cannot work out for 7 days. When I'm able to work out again, I'm going to start over on day 1 of phase 2. That's really the only time you need to start over, but don't skip any workouts. Okay, meal plan and meal prepping. This is the part that people tend to get the most overwhelmed with. They start to panic, and it's really unnecessary. I'm telling you, it is so amazingly simple and easy once you get the hang of it. It does take a few days. You're going to be walking around with your papers and your schedules, but then I'm telling you, you're going to hit Wednesday and it's just going to click for you. That's what everybody says. So just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So first things first, the most important thing is the Shakeology. And I think really all I wanted to say here was what I've already said, which was you're going to have a little bit of trial and error to figure out what is going to work for you. You will see me, I'm doing 2B program right now. So I'm adding a lot more things into my Shakeology than I was in 80-Day Obsession. So in 80-Day Obsession, I just had a fruit and a cup of almond milk in the Shakeology, and that was it. But so just know that I think that what I'm doing on my Instagram story sometimes confuses people. I'm not doing 80-Day Obsession, but I'm an egg. I just stopped. Like, I've been doing it since January, and I'm like an expert. I feel like in it. I love it so much. I think it's the best program that they have personally. Anyway, the things that you may experience in 80-Day Obsession, you're going to get some energy, which is a good thing. You're going to find that your cravings are curbed. And I talked about this in that call, but what's going to happen is your body reacts to in a way of like craving things when it feels like it's lacking something. And a lot of times we start to crave things and we eat the thing that's not the best for us. And then your body just continues to crave and continues to crave. And what Shakeology is going to do is we're really going to help refuel your body with the nutrients that you need so you're not experiencing that. For about a week, you may experience a little bit of gas and a little bit of bloating, but don't worry, your body is going to level out. It's experiencing that because you may not be used to all the superfoods and the nutrients and the fiber that comes in Shakeology. Don't stress, it goes down. I don't know if it'll probably didn't follow me in January, but every single night I like showed an Instagram story of how huge my stomach was. I honestly looked like I was 5 months pregnant, and I was just bloated from the vegetables that I was eating and the Shakeology, and now I don't experience any bloating. Okay, meal plan. So we use the container system in 80-Day program. I have showed the containers multiple times on my Instagram story. Maybe I haven't recently because I'm not using them with 2B, but basically each color represents a food group. There comes with little labels to label the containers to help you guys know what they are. So the green is a vegetable. The green and the purple are a vegetable and fruit, and they're both 1 cup, just so you know. Red is a protein, yellow is a carb, blue is a healthy fat, and orange is seeds and dressing. Sorry, my throat. And then there's going to be a teaspoon, and that's for your oils, like your coconut oils, and then your nut butters. We are using timed nutrition, which is essentially a really fancy way of saying you eat every couple of hours. And the reason this is important is because it maximizes what you eat and when you eat it for muscle recovery. And that's one thing that I did not understand until I did 80-Day Obsession. And I think that is also something that has really developed my muscles, my arm muscles especially, because I was eating properly at proper times. Maximize your performance is going to give you energy for hard work. I definitely noticed that. And then it's going to teach you to eat the correct containers in your workout block, okay? And I'm going to talk about what that workout block means in just a minute. And just so you know, especially in this prep week, this practice week, just do the best that you can. I get emails all the time of people freaking out because they're eating an hour later than they're supposed to, or they don't know how to work in their shake, or how are they supposed to eat if they're a teacher and it's so hard. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out. You may be 30 minutes late than you're supposed to be, but it will be okay. Remember, this is a journey. It's a lifestyle, okay? So step 1 is to calculate your calorie target. Now listen, everything that I'm showing here can be accessed on Beachbody On Demand, and I'm going to show you how to access that. But right now, I just want to talk through the steps, and then I'm going to show you where you access all your information. So you're going to calculate your caloric baseline by using this equation. As you can see, we are doing, there's kind of 2 types of brackets here. And I'm going to go right here, actually. Let's say you weigh 150 pounds. Your weight loss calories, your maintenance calories. So let's say you don't want to lose any weight, you just want to build muscle, you want to change your body, you want to get strong, you want to feel good. You are going to stay in your maintenance calorie bracket. Okay, this is where you stop. So your final calories is going to be 2,050 calories. If you are looking to lose weight, we are going to go into the weight loss bracket, which is going to be this one down here, and that's going to equal 1,300 calories. So you're just going to subtract 750 from your maintenance calories, okay? After we determine our calorie bracket, then we're going to come down to see what plan we're in. So if you are in the maintenance calories right here, 2050, you are going to be in plan C. If you were in the weight loss, which was 1,300 calories, you're going to be in plan A, okay? And this is going to equal how many containers that you have. So right there, the green, you're going to have 4 green containers in plan A, 2 purple containers, 4 red containers, which is protein, purple is fruit, 2 carb containers, which is yellow, 1 healthy fat, 1 seed and dressing, and 3 teaspoons of oil and nut butter. And as obviously calorie brackets go up, so do the containers. It's not by much. So I go back and forth from plan A and plan B, depending on the phase that I'm in, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And I remember like freaking out about going to plan B. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in plan A for so long. Like, what is this going to do? And at the end of the day, it's just an extra carb and it's an extra fruit. It's really not that much more food. And honestly, I feel much better when I'm on plan B personally. Okay, here is the, the portion, my thing is all covered up. I can't see what I'm doing. The portion control containers and exactly what they are. And I've kind of already gone through that and how many containers you need for your particular bracket. So here is an example, okay? This is an example of what, hold on one second, actually. Let's look at the workout block first. Sorry, these are kind of mixed up. The workout block is basically the time in between the food that you eat before your workout and the meals that you eat after your workout. So you have a pre-workout meal, and then you work out, and then you have a post-workout meal. So why is this important? Your pre-workout meal is going to fuel you with energy. Your post-workout meal is going to recover your muscles. And I know, well, maybe you're thinking this, maybe you're not, but I never ate before I work out. Never have in like the 15 years I've been exercising, okay? And when this program came out and they were like, hey, you're going to eat before your workout, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. And I came off my high horse and I was like, Macy, you don't know everything. You are going to try something new. And I don't know if it was trying something new or if it was this formula or what, but it helped me so much. And now I love eating before I work out. And it was because of this program. So if you're not used to eating before your workout, I just want to encourage you to try to eat, okay? So these containers right here, they're all paired in a very specific way. So you're going to have a green, a red, a yellow, and a teaspoon before your workout. So that's a vegetable. A red is a protein, and a carb, and then a teaspoon. So you guys know I love green beans and eggs. How did I come up with green beans and eggs? Because of 80-day obsession. I didn't like the spinach and eggs. Something about it grossed me out. I was like, okay, I got to get a vegetable in. I don't know what kind of vegetable I'm going to do. I'm just going to try random ones. I tried green beans, loved it. So I usually have eggs, 2 eggs, green bean, a piece of Ezekiel toast, and then a teaspoon of coconut oil. That's my pre-workout meal. And then, so that's about 60 to 90 minutes before your workout. Now listen, even Autumn has said this. She said, okay, listen, if you feel like you feel good after you eat, you're not super full, and you feel like you can work out right after you eat, then do it. You're going to have to, it's trial and error here. I felt like I could, so I would eat and then I would do about 30 to 45 minutes and then I would exercise. Now, if you are somebody who's like, oh, I cannot eat that much food before I work out, or I wake up too early to wait that amount of time in between, there is an option to switch your Shakeology meal, which for me is my 1 o'clock meal, with your pre-workout meal. So you can have your Shakeology, your fruit, and your teaspoon before your workout, And then your pre-workout meal will just become your 1 o'clock meal. Okay, so after you have your pre-workout meal, you're going to take your pre-workout supplement, which is your Energize, if you have that. I do about 15 minutes before I work out. Then you're going to work out. Right after your workout, within 30 minutes, okay? So immediately, that's the first thing I do. I drink my post-workout shake and I have my fruit. I usually do about a cup of berries, and then I just shake my protein shake with water. I actually prefer that taste better. It's delicious. You guys are really going to enjoy it. And the reason this is so important is because this is going to repair your muscles. Your muscles are fatigued, they're ripped, they're torn, and they need to be repaired. And that's what Recover is going to do. It has glutamine, it has BCAAs in it, it has all the things that you need. And about an hour to 2 hours after you work out, you're going to have another green, another red, another yellow, and another teaspoon. And then down here, we have every 2 to 3 hours, your meal 1, meal 2, and meal 3. I always have, or for 80-day obsession at least, I had my Shakeology at 1 o'clock. Like, that was my non-negotiable. I just really enjoyed it at that time. So at 1 o'clock, I had my Shakeology, my red cherries, and I just had a teaspoon of peanut butter, like by the spoon, and almond milk. I didn't put it in my shake. Sometimes I did, just depends. And then the next meal, every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to have a fat and a vegetable. So I almost always had a little bit of hummus, the container of hummus, and 10 baby carrots. And then for dinner, you're going to have a vegetable, a protein, and a seeds and dressing container. So I always did like salmon and Brussels sprouts, and then I would just put like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds in the little container, and I would just like put it in my mouth like that, just kind of like take a shot. Okay, let's get back to the actual examples we have here. So this is like a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So what I just encourage people to do is, depending on when you wake up, just shift it up a couple hours or down a couple hours. And you don't have to work out in the morning. I'm going to show you other workout block options, but this is just what I have because it's what it works best for most of my clients. So here's my 2 eggs, 1 cup of green beans, 1 slice of Ezekiel toast, 1 teaspoon of grass-fed butter. 7:30, I had my Energize. 8 o'clock, I worked out. 9 o'clock, I had my post-workout, my 1 cup of berries. At 11 a.m., I had a half a cup of ground turkey, steamed broccoli, a cup of steamed broccoli, and a third of a sweet potato. At 1 o'clock, I had my Shakeology. At 4, I had my veggies and hummus. And at 7, I had cauliflower, salmon, pumpkin seeds, and a teaspoon of nut butter. So, like I said, you can move it up and down. Now, you guys know I wake up really early, okay? If I had a really long day, like if I wasn't going to bed till 10, it says you need to be having it every 2 to 3 hours, eating every 2 to 3 hours, right? I would stretch it to the 3-hour mark as much as I could, and it would just extend longer. Here's an example of Plan B. The only difference here is there's going to be a fruit at your 4 o'clock meal and a carb at your dinner. Literally the only difference. And then you have your Plan C right here, which is just another example. And I'm going to send all of this to you guys. So this is just an overview. I'm sending it all your way. So here's a midday workout block example. So they said at 7:30, you would wake up and have your Shakeology, and then you would have a vegetable, a fruit, and a fat at 10 o'clock. And then at 12, you'd have your pre-workout meal. At 4, you would have your post-workout meal. And then at 7, you would have your dinner. And then there's also an evening workout block. This is, I believe, your rest day. So yeah, this is your rest day meal plan. Essentially, it's the same containers, eat every 2 to 3 hours. You're just not going to be using your supplements. Your rest day is on Sunday, but it's kind of like an active rest day, stretching day. You're not just like sedentary. You're going to be really sore and you're going to want to stretch. So you're going to recalculate after each phase. So once phase 1 is over, phase 2 and 3 have a totally different formula. But you're still going to recalculate after phase 2 because maybe you lost some weight and you're in a new bracket. But you're going to recalculate using this formula right here. Here's another example. So 150 pounds again, instead of having 1,300 calories to be in a weight loss bracket, you're going to be having 1,700 calories, which is going to put you in Plan B right here. So 1700 Plan B. Okay, so now let's think through the actual meals. There is a food list. So I'm actually going to now transition to where, let me look at this question really quick. What if you don't have the post-workout protein? What could you have in place in that? You're just not going to have the protein. You're just going to have your fruit immediately after. I don't want to recommend like a protein from Costco or anything like that because I've talked through how I am really, really picky about that. You're just not going to have it. You just aren't, yeah, no protein powder, which is not a big deal. Again, the pre and post workout supplements aren't necessary. They definitely give you a better experience and better results, but they're not necessary, if that makes sense. Okay, let me go back to Beachbody On Demand to show you how to access everything and how to access your food list. So here is Beachbody On Demand. We're in the overview of 80-Day Obsession right now. Here is your workout list. Here are your program materials. This is where everything is located, okay? This is like home base. I can't tell you how many times I've been to this section of Beachbody On Demand, probably hundreds. I come here all the time. Here's your nutrition, calendar, and tracking. This is where you're gonna track your weight. That's actually the only two things I go to. So let's go to nutrition right here. First of all, I just said that there's gonna be food lists. So I'm going to click this food list right here to show you what that is going to look like. So your green, your purple, your red, your yellow, your blue, and your orange, and your teaspoons. It's all right here. What I did during 80-Day Obsession, I printed this off, and I kept my meals so simple. So simple, it's not even funny, okay? The top 4 on each category are gonna be your best option. So I tried to go for the top 4. I definitely didn't always do it. Top 4 of the list, I hope that made sense. So there are times that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need a new vegetable. I'm sick of eating, I don't know, kale. So I would pull this out and I'd be like, oh, peppers. I love sweet peppers. I'm going to have some peppers and put some ground turkey inside of it. And it's going to be like a little stuffed pepper. And my mind would trigger with some new ideas. But this is also helpful because I feel like, for example, peas is under the yellow container list, which most people think peas are vegetables, right? But it's really a carb. So just come through and make sure that all of this is like clear for you, okay? So that is the food list. It's going to be your baby. You're going to use it all the time. And then everything that I just talked about, there's also a vegan food container list if that's important to you. And there's also vegan meal plans down here. They're very different, okay? It's different containers and different calculations and all that. So if you are a vegan, there's options, but don't make sure you're coming off of the vegan meal plan. So when you click on Plan A, literally everything I'm talking about is all here. I highly recommend printing this out and reading it page to page. I know a lot of people won't do that, so that's why I like to sit here and go through everything with everybody, but it would really benefit you, and it would, like I said, it's a time commitment on the front end, but it would help you so much if you just sat down and you read it. Remember, I provide you with the tools. I provide you with resources. I'm here for support. I'm doing this call. Most coaches don't do calls like this. I want to help you, but you have to kind of meet me halfway and do the things like, okay, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up 15 minutes earlier and read through 5 pages of the 80-Day Obsession meal plan. You will be so glad that you did. Okay, those were the 2 things I wanted to share in 80-Day or in Beachbody On Demand. So I showed you the food list and how that's going to look. So I always recommend, okay, print out the color coding of the food list. The examples that I just showed you, I'm going to send you the examples for Plan A all the way through Plan F, the exact examples. My biggest tip, especially at the beginning, is to keep it simple. Keep it simple. When you need a carb, look at the carb list, choose the carb. When you need a protein, look at the protein list, choose a protein. I have posted on my Instagram story before, but like it doesn't have to make sense. There are many times that all that was available was like taco turkey meat, and the only carb that was available was a sweet potato. What goes with taco meat? Tortilla chips, right? But that wasn't an option for me. So I just would pick the sweet potato. You're going to learn that this is not necessarily something that we are going to like be making casseroles and make it all beautiful and delicious. It's just basic food fueling our body. Now, there is an option of like recipes that I want to show you, but I don't really want you to dabble in it until you get the hang of it. So I really want you to do the first couple of weeks without going crazy, okay? So if you come to Beachbody On Demand right here, let's go home. Sorry. There's something called Fixate. And maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but I do want to show it to you really quickly. Let's see. Where is my, sorry, I'm trying to find it. So there's something called, oh, no, am I not logged in? No, I am. Oh my gosh. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. So I always do trainer. I always click here to find what I want to find. Here we go. It's a little bit slow. Oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. It's called Fixate. Let me see if I can. I should have had it pulled up. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I'll make a post about it and show you, but it's called Fixate. Oh, here it is. Hello. And it's like a cooking show, okay? And they have recipes. And not all of them are 80-Day Obsession approved, but there is like a little symbol beside the ones that are 80-Day Obsession approved. Sorry, it's so slow. I actually might come back to this because I want to make sure I have plenty of time for everything. So I'm going to come back to it. And they are awesome. Like for example, when I moved out to Plan B for my 4 o'clock meal, I added a purple, right? So I had a fat, a veggie, and a fruit. Well, there happens to be a recipe on Fixate for like these little apple banana muffins, and one muffin equals a fat, a vegetable, and a fruit. And so instead of having hummus, vegetables, and whatever, I was able to have one of these muffins instead. So it was a nice like change up for me, but I don't think I would have understood that until I actually did it the most basic way possible. So I'm not trying to deprive you, okay? I'm just trying to help you. It's a way of helping. Let's talk quickly about refeed day. So you will have some additional carbs to help replenish the glycogen store so that you can work out harder and better and get awesome results. So this is not a cheat day, okay? It's not cheat. You're just going to be eating from like a supplemental yellow container food list that has more glycemic, fast-absorbing carbs. So let's go back to the food list that I was talking to you about, which is right here. So here's the normal food list, okay? If we scroll down, the S right here, it stands for supplemental food list. And you look at all the things on the supplemental food list. There are vanilla wafers. That is what I chose. Something else to note is that there are Fixates from the recipes that I was telling you about, Fixate dessert recipes for refeed day. So I had vanilla wafers, and then I also made these flourless chocolate chickpea brownies, and they are delicious, okay? They are so good. So you just need to learn and know that, like I said, this is not a cheat day, it's a refeed day. So on this particular refeed day, it starts in phase 2, okay? And as you're going through the program, Autumn talks about it, you'll know exactly when you're supposed to do it. Here it is. So the first meal, that morning, I had a brownie, okay? I had a chickpea brownie at 4 a.m. It was so good. And then you have 4 total carbs instead of 2 carbs. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 total supplemental carbs. And you're going to wake up, you're going to have 4 fruits too, which is a lot. And you will be feeling really good. So it's every 2 weeks starting in phase 2, okay? So just know that going into it. Fix-It recipes. This is what I'm trying to get to over here. Okay, y'all, I'm just going to make a different video and post it to show you how to get to Fix-It recipes and what that looks like. I'll do a screen share and I'll make a little video and I will post it in the virtual wellness studio so you can find how to access it. I'm so sorry that it's not working. So there is something called a deplete week, and that's the very last week. Now, this is optional. I personally did not do this, but I kind of wish that I did now, just so I could learn how to do it, so that if I wanted to do like a deplete week before a big occasion, I could. Basically, all it is you are just cutting back on your fruit and your carbs. We're upping the protein, we're upping the vegetables so that you can really lean out. Again, this is not really maintainable. It's more so like, hey, I want to see how good I can look at the end of 80-Day Obsession and get a bomb after photo. Or let's say you're timing this out perfectly right before a vacation, you need to do the deplete week. It's definitely not going to last, right? The next couple of days when you eat normal, you're going to go back to looking normal again. But this is kind of like what, like, let's say you're doing like a fitness competition. This is what someone would do the week before the deplete week to look awesome, but it's optional. Okay, going out to eat. It's totally possible. Just plan ahead, okay? You better not even pull into that parking lot without looking at the menu ahead of time online. There are not many times I go to a restaurant and I just get something on the menu. I'm like, hey, I want a piece of salmon and I want broccoli that's not in butter, and I would like a sweet potato without the brown sugar. It's definitely not like a number 1 on the menu, but if you just ask so kindly and bat your eyelashes and are so sweet to the waiter, you can totally do this. I went out to eat all the time in 80-Day Obsession. What I think really helped me is I would dump the containers on my plate. I had a bird's eye view, and so I would go out to eat, and I was able to eyeball it really well. I could eyeball a protein, a carb, and a vegetable, and I did the best that I could, right? Like, I didn't really stress about it. I did the best I could. I eyeballed the best that I could. I definitely didn't like go have ice cream after, but I really tried my best. Ask for different things at a restaurant. See if there's any modifications. If you can say no oil or no, just steam or with lemon juice or something like that, they can do it if you just ask super nicely. When it comes to traveling, I've traveled on the 80-Day Obsession. I went on a bachelorette party during 80-Day Obsession and stayed on track. You can do it. It's not going to be the most delicious food all the time, but maybe you'll start to learn how to make delicious food and bring it on the road. I did a lot of boiled eggs, a lot of rice cakes, some low sodium, nitrate free deli turkey. I would boil green beans and I would bring them on the go, eat them cold. That didn't bother me. There's carrots. You can eat raw broccoli. I love raw broccoli. There's a ton of, you're going to find some vegetables you didn't know that you like. I bring peanut butter and almond butter. I always had my Shakeology. Traveling for Shakeology, I would just shake it with really cold water and it was fine. I personally liked it. Sweet potatoes, I eat sweet potatoes cold. I mean, if you have a microwave in your hotel, you can get the ones individually wrapped that you just throw into the microwave and they steam in the microwave. There's a lot of options. You just gotta think outside the box. You gotta really want it. You know what I mean? Water, half of your body weight in ounces, which is the minimum. I'm always going to recommend about a gallon if you can, but water makes a really huge difference. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever experienced where like you can't get your rings off or on. It's because your body is like retaining water. If you don't drink a lot of water, it's going to hold on to water. Your body's like, I don't know the next time I'm going to get water, so I'm going to hold on to it. But when you're drinking a lot of water, your body's going to release it and you're going to be slim and have skinny fingers. Okay, as I said in the Live Fully call, the program calls for no cheats. And I know that scares a lot of people. And I wasn't planning on saying this, but I just feel like that for me to be able to stay on track for 80-Day Obsession, I proved myself wrong in so many areas. Like I exceeded my own expectations, which then left me in a place where I had new expectations for myself, right? So like I went through an entire month without cheating and I couldn't believe it, which only led me to believe that I could do it for another month and another month. And I just got so much confidence from not cheating. And it's not about like the pounds or the results or whatever. For me, like the cheat for me, it was more of like, holy cow, I was able to do it. I couldn't believe it. And at the end of the day, you're never going to know your results unless you do it wholeheartedly. So it's totally up to you. Like, I'm not going to babysit you. I'm not going to be with you at every barbecue or everything that you go to. Make sure you don't. But for your own self and for your own confidence, I want to encourage you to stay strong. They say no alcohol. I know that's really hard. I made it without alcohol. Well, no, the bachelorette trip, I did have a little beverage, but coffee, I only do almond milk. So yeah, it's up to you, but the program says not to cheat. I will say that it is very scientific the way this is all laid out. So if you work out big and you eat big, you're going to be big. You know what I mean? If you're going to lift weights like this, you got to keep it slim at the same time. So if you're not starting on June 4th, that's okay. You're going to get this call as a recording. You're going to learn it. You're going to study it. And if you need to start on June, 6th, then do it. It doesn't have to be on a Monday, right? It can be whenever you are ready to do this. I know there's a lot of vacations, a lot of trips happening. That's totally fine. No big deal. I just want you to feel confident in being able to start when you are ready or when your materials come in. June 4th was just a cohesive date for most people, but I know not everybody is in the same seat, and that's okay. So just be confident in it that you can totally do it. Post in the Virtual Wellness Studio and be like, hey guys, I'm starting tomorrow. What are your suggestions? Do you have any advice? Whatever. Again, integrity is my only expectation from you, is that you meet me halfway, you follow through, you give it your all, you ask me questions, you ask the Virtual Wellness Studio questions. There's a ton of people in that group who know this program probably better than I do and can answer your questions like that. So don't be afraid to post in there. It's a super safe place. That is where all of my progress pictures go as well. I'm not somebody who's going to be flaunting my bod on the gram, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's a really safe place. It's all women, like my tribe, my people, and it's also your tribe and your people. So just be yourself in there. It's really awesome. Don't forget, practice week is a little obsessed. It's just 5 days of true practice figuring it out so that when you hit day one, you hit the ground running. There's no setbacks. There's no questions. You are like ready to go. You're not wasting any time figuring it out. The Self-Discipline Bootcamp, we're going to start June 7th at 7 p.m. And I'm going to send out links as the days come. And yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to do it for 4 weeks, so June 7th. And then that last week, I was looking at my phone. I'm going to be at a church camp that week. And so I'm not really sure what that's going to look like. I might be able to scoot to the side and do the call. But it just depends. So we might have to do like 3 weeks on, take a break, and then do the next one on July 5th. So that's my only thing that I didn't schedule them all out because I wasn't sure what that week was going to look like. Okay, your homework is to download your BOD on your phone, Beachbody On Demand, that app. Study, become a student. Again, it's so important. Your meal plan and the workout. Look through the materials that you're going to receive in your package and in an email, a follow-up email that I'm going to send to you. Print out your meals and your schedules, your meal times, your workout times. Have it in your time. And I think this is backtracking, but what's so awesome about having a plan like this, it's like, okay, I know what time I'm going to exercise. It's in my meal plan. It's on my schedule. And it's like, that's the date for myself that I'm not going to miss, right? Like that is the one and only time that is my time and I'm going to make it happen. Whereas if you just wake up and you're like, oh, I'll just work out at some point today, it usually doesn't happen. So when you have a schedule and you schedule out your life, it's only going to make it easier for you to actually follow through. It's a really big deal. Print out your food options. And is that it? I think that that's the only call. Is there any more chats, any more questions? I know that there's like not even a quarter of the people on here that need to watch it. Nope, no more. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, y'all just let me know if you have any questions. Post in the virtual wellness studio, because 9 times out of 10, if you have that question, somebody else has that question, and it'll just be easier for me to answer for everyone. Thanks for jumping on that while you could. I know it's such a crazy time, 4 o'clock on a Thursday. Nobody is usually available, so it's awesome just to have 15 of you. That's awesome. All right, I'll talk to you girls very soon. Bye.